All right, guys, another nuke stream today. Uh, Good evening. Nice to see you guys. We already got X Runner in the chat, Todd M in the chat as well. Nice to see you guys. Uh, yeah, we already got a $10 super chat from Todd M. We'll read this one right away. You get one of these, sir.
Thank you so much, best friend.
Todd M with the $10. Can you talk more about assortative mating and the notion that men go after more educated, intelligent women? It wouldn't choose a hot waitress. Been seeing a lot of that on Twitter lately. Yes. Okay. Let me introduce the topic, and then I get right to it. So just give me 1 second. Let me introduce the topic, as we just barely started. But appreciate. Oh, it is. Oh, huh. I guess StreamYard screwed up. It's still in my thing. That's weird. How did that happen? Anyways, I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, let's introduce the topic. The tetrahedron of frame. Frame. What is frame? Frame this. Hold frame. Do you have frame? She tested your frame. Blah, blah, blah. Frame, frame, frame. You're tired of hearing it. The red pill guys talk about it. The not so red pill guys talk about it. Women talk about it. But, oh, there we go. Here's a fresh one. Yeah. Let's get this one.
Thank you so much, best friend.
Todd M7 with the $10. Thank you, sir. Here's a fresh one, brother. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, Todd. I really appreciate your support, man. But all right, so yeah, we've heard all these things about frame, and then people think like, what is frame? What is it? Some people give their definition. A lot of it, most of it, it's not right. It's not a good definition at all. It's not something that you have. It's not something you go get, right? It's not something you buy. Something that is based on, we're going to use Ryan Stone's description of the tetrahedron of frame. And as you guys know, a tetrahedron is like a 3D pyramid, right? With 3 sides. So that means there's 3 points that converge to frame being the pinnacle or the top, the peak, and then the 3 points, which are the foundations of frame. And this will break it down, because I could say frame is not something you have, and you're like, what do you mean by that? Or frame isn't just your looks, or frame isn't just kicking a bitch to the curb, right? And that's the thing with a lot of like the mainstream red pill content, is that we think frame is just, yelling at women and like having more finance. So men what they'll do is they'll search different ways to get frame. Like they'll have financial power, like make a lot of money, bro, and women will get in line if you make a lot of money, right? And then what do? We see athletes and men. Actually, the men with money are the ones with the least amount of frame. It looks like from us, they're the ones giving away their hard-earned cash and getting screwed over in divorce and getting cheated on with guys like that are broke. Their wives are cheating with guys that are like significantly less accomplished than they are, right? So is it money? Then you have guys with looks. Guys with looks are constantly getting destroyed by guys with status or guys with game all the time. We're literally seeing it on like these streamers now. So it's like, what is it? Is it frame? Is it looks? Is it telling a bitch? Is it kicking a bitch to the curve? Well, you can't always do that. You're married and you have a mortgage and you have kids. You're gonna kick your wife to the curb because you guys are disagreeing on stuff, you can't. You have the because the state is there, right? Not only the state, a lot of things are involved, like finances, and you love your kids. There's an emotional connection or an emotional thing there. So, what is frame, right? And this is what like, guys need to understand. If there's anything that you've been misled on, and I'm sure you guys know what frame is, but for you guys that are new here, if there's anything you've been misled on in the red pill since it became quote unquote mainstream, is frame. And if you don't believe me, go watch a debate, go watch an argument, go watch everything. And you'll realize like if you did what these streamers do to with these women in your own house, with women that you're having sex with, dating, that you love, that you're married to, you would be in a world of hurt. And that is the damage sometimes it does because it all boils down to go like Rambo brute forcing women into believing that you're right. And then the logical conclusion is to have a woman that never speaks or talks or does anything but an automaton, right? Basically, you are the only one that gets to program anything into your woman. And you see it on the timeline all the time. It's just like we need to bring back what are the common replies to when women act crazy? We need to bring back Islam, you know, or we start hating on simps. We're like, oh, it's all simps' fault that women are acting like this, blah blah blah. It's some guy paying them $5 a month to see their flaps, you know, like it's their fault. And then again, is it frame when you blame everything else outside of yourself for why you can't be happy or get a girl to kiss you? You know, is it really everyone else everywhere? Or and then there's the politics side, right? Like, oh, the reason I can't get laid is because those goddamn Democrats, you know, like, you know, I love Cappy, right? But is that the reason you can't get laid? Right? Like, what is it? What are we doing here? So simultaneously, we're creating these guys that are super victim. We want to. They believe they're becoming super alphas by following and joining war rooms and joining collectives and identifying with another man's brand, right? And fighting back and whatever. And then now it's like uh, what they're really becoming is turbo super victims, just victimhood, but to the 10th degree. And it's that's part of consumerism, right? When you have a fractured or rugged individualist society, people are constantly looking for to identify with others, the tribalism, right? And what better way to be tribal than to meet up with other people that are victims of something, whether it be like, for example, Puerto Rico. Right now, everyone was or is, I don't know if it's on still, watching the halftime show, right? And Puerto Ricans feel identified with something that they consume, right? They'll pay thousands of dollars to a company to go see a guy perform. And you know, it could be a quality, it could not. From what I've seen, it's a quality product show or whatever, right? Just like I would pay thousands of dollars to watch Blink 182 or Daft Punk. I don't think Daft Punk's coming out of retirement, but anyways, but they are identifying with being victims, and that's why artists constantly placate the victim mentality to their fans and to people, right? That you have Billie Eilish saying, "Hey, there is no open border, or there's no borders on stolen land," whatever she said, and then you know, Bad Bunny saying, "Oh, ice out," right? Because he's trying to play into your victim mentality. And what does everyone with a mic and a screen do? The same fucking thing. They tell you you're the victim, and they say that, "Hey, through me, I'm going to make you feel like you're part of a solution, of a collective of people that are all pushing back on the establishment." And what's the establishment? I don't know. Is it Donald Trump? Is it the Republican Party? Is it uh, you know, the small hats? Is it the lizard people? Who is it? Who is responsible for you sucking at life? Right? And that's the problem with frame. Everything is external, or with these guys and their lack of frame. Everything's external. They are victims of women, victims of everything. And even if you are a victim, right? Because there's guys that are divorced or guys that actually had really bad things happen to them because of women. What does that mentality even help you with? It is not time for you to mope, right? There is a time to feel sorry for yourself, like something bad happened, right? If I had an accident and, you know, the first thing I'm gonna do is check if I can walk, get out the car, walk away from the car, check the other car, make sure they're alive, call the cops, call 911, And then when everything's said and done and everything is solved, or at least I've done everything I needed to do, right? When I go home, I can go home and cry and rub my wounds and maybe, go to the hospital or whatever I need to do, right? That's how men are supposed to think. We can feel our emotions, we can feel shitty, but you got to get shit done. And that's why I always defer to what's the plan? Because if there's anything that's destroying men, and we were raised to be defective women, right? We're in the 66th year of feminism, I guess, more or less. Um, we were raised to be defective women, to feel sorry for ourselves, to take no action, to blame someone else, and cultural Marxism and all this Marxism and all that stuff. That now, you know, even even asking ourselves, what do we do next, feels dirty because we're supposed to be victims. It's what we are, right? We were raised to blame everyone else. It's someone else's fault. But the truth is, you cannot build frame on a foundation of everything is external to me. And that's why it's so dangerous to, like, as much as I want to sit down with men and, like, put my hand on their shoulder. And I have done this. I did this a lot in the military, and I did it with friends throughout my life. Like, hey, life sucks, bro. Like, we're all, it sucks and everything sucks, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there is a 24-hour, to depending on how bad the cataclysmic event or their canon event was. Yes, you got to give men a little bit of time to process and feel like shit. But there's always where's the plan? Because the plan's going to take you out of where you're at to something better. And I'm a minority in the United States, right? And this is endemic to minorities. We feel like, hey, whether you're a woman or black or Latino or whatever, we feel like we're oppressed. I don't know where that came from, but we feel like we're oppressed. And even if you are, does does making that part of your identity constantly get you anywhere besides mad and angry and make you act less because, like, hey, if I fail, it wasn't because of me. But anyways, guys, I'm getting a little bit too self-improvement language, I know, but so water the plant. Oh, I watered it 3 days ago. It's just peace lilies kind of are like that. But yeah, I'm gonna check the soil after the show. Thanks for reminding me. And 40. Oh, that's in Celsius, I think. Let me update my thing. I just want to just check in my background. Let me update my little. Hold on. I have an app for that thing. Whoever. Okay, I'll do this. Whoever super chats. The next here, I'll put a Shiba on it. There we go. How about that, guys? I got so much because I can change it to whatever. I should change it to whatever anime I'm watching. That way you guys know what anime I'm watching. But anyways, yeah. It's a horrible word to pronounce, you know. Let's see. It's Jack the Tetrahedron Napier. Yep. Oh, tetrahedron, yeah. Literally the opposite of frame. Yep. To be clear, I intend on encouraging men to join Jesus' brand. Yeah, I mean, if your faith requires you to spread your gospel, then sure. I mean, no one's telling you you can't do what you want to do. Right? You don't need my permission, and that's another thing about frame. Like, you don't need anyone's permission to do what you want to do, right? But what we're talking about here is not like, hey, how to control the world, right? It's how to gain leverage, how to gain frame, or not gain frame, but how to build the pillars of frame. That way, when you have it, you have it. It's no longer something you go borrow or go get. It is something who you are. It is, but in order to affect this, right, you need to build these three pillars, and we're going to talk about these three pillars. So thank you, Pearl, for retweeting the stream. I didn't mean the sheep. Yeah, where is my dog? Right?
Thank you so much, best friend!
Extra with a $2 sheep. Awesome. Thank you, sir. I know you are a fan. Who isn't a fan of Shiba Inus? Is there anyone that doesn't like Shiba Inus? Exactly. It's the best dog ever. So, alrighty. Alrighty. So, anyways, let's continue on. So, again, I have prepared a PowerPoint and an interesting one, not a boring military one or college one. This is an interesting PowerPoint. So, I'm about to bring it up here. Let's see. Let's bring it up here. Um, if you don't like Shibas, I might be liable to accident. Yeah, you gotta like the dog. You gotta like the doggo. All right, so I'm gonna. How do I get myself out of here? No, let's see. Is it this? How did I do this last time? Man, I'm such a boomer. Okay, here we go. Cool. All right, guys. So here we have tetrahedron of frame. Uh, we're gonna talk about mental point of origin and architecture of intersexual dynamics, blah blah blah, in terms of frame. Cool. All right. Frame abhors a vacuum. Most men operate in frames of others, parents, society, and women seeking validation rather than providing it. Men raised as defective women are conditioned to seek permission. And it's in the popular culture and popular society, and basically it's the status quo, right? I got to ask my wife first, or happy wife, happy life, or my parents are not going to like this, or what will my wife think? What would my parents think? Blah blah blah, right? They live in this world of let me check with everyone else, and they never check with themselves because they are not their mental point of origin. They have no frame. The diagnosis: in the absence of masculine authority, a woman is forced to provide structure herself. She does not want this power, she resents it. If you do not provide the reality, she will be forced to. This leads to the death of attraction. And this is the whole drunk captain, first mate dynamic, which I don't know if it's worth to talk about. I'm sure you guys know. Basically, it's when a girl feels like the ship is being steered in the wrong direction or towards an iceberg, she's going to nag the drunk captain to get the ship back on, back on course, right? So this is that quote: "If you do not provide a reality, she will be forced to. This leads to the death of attraction." Women do not want to be in charge of the relationship. Though there is a plenty of content online where women act like being in charge is the best, and they treat their men like little dogs or children, and then they complain on the internet like, "Man, I'm not gonna like do things for a man," blah blah blah. What they're really trying to communicate is, I'm not gonna be with a man that does not lead. They're willing to clean dirty underwear for men that are strong leaders, but they're not gonna be doing these things happily for men that are weak, right? And I know weak and strong and blah blah blah, got it, but in terms of frame. So yeah. Is frame related to what Roll talks about regarding power? In other words, does a strong frame equal to a lot of power over our lives? Uh, yes and no. Power power is the ability to affect to act, cause an effect or an action, or compel other things or forces of nature or people to do things, right? And really, frame is only about yourself. It's not about anyone else but yourself. And really, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, but we'll get to it. Just give me a second. So. Hey, what's up, Luis Dev? Nice to see you. Alrighty. Uh, yeah, like Jack was saying, for this man. So when a woman complains, I'm not willing to clean um underwear or clean up a house or cook for a lazy, or they start complaining for a man. What you're saying is, I'm not willing to do it for a man that is not a strong leader. So, all right. Frame is reality, not negotiation. And this is where the debate bros live, and the people that, oh, we got to debate and we got to have a conversation and we got to have a dialogue. We got to go out there and talk to these men and talk to the government and talk to women and talk, blah, blah, blah. Listen, treating frame like the error, the negotiation, treating frame like a resource you lose over time when tested, trying to win arguments. What do you get out of winning an argument, right? Nothing. The goal is reality, right? You see, there is a graphic of like basically physics, uh, astrophysicists kind of depict a black hole, which is hyper focused gravity in one point in space, right? Treating frame like gravity, a constant, unshakable force of your reality. And this is like this is alludes to Archwinger's "Women are frame masters, men are frame children" essay. Women are frame masters. because they trust their emotions as absolute truth. You cannot logic them out of their feelings. You must invite them into a stable reality. Do you understand that? You do not argue with women, whether it be your wife or someone on a stream. Maybe if you get paid a lot of money, but even then, you're not going to win because first off, like Rolo says, and Jack and me and everyone else and Ryan, it's two different lanes. It's two different like sports fields. She's fighting on a soccer field. She's playing on a soccer field, and you're playing on a football field. Well, let's say basketball court. Completely different rules, completely different ways of scoring, completely different timelines, right? Because a soccer game is what, 2 hours for you soccer fans out there, and NBA is 12-minute quarters. Is it 12 minute now? Yeah. So completely different everything. And yet you guys want to win. It's like, hey, let's play basketball. And they're like, yeah. And then you're not even in the same court or field. And that's what arguing with women. And then, you guys, people pay other people to uh, watch these debates and they want, the guys that are, eh, want, that are trying to support their guy or their person, say, oh, he won the debate because he showed her through logic how women are dumb. And then, women will back the guy and be like, "Oh, he was an asshole. We didn't like his tone. He's a dipshit. He's this. He's mean. He's an incel, whatever." Right? And like, yeah, like Jack's saying here, two different arenas. That's why women in politics isn't working, but that's a discussion for, yeah, it's definitely, yeah, that's definitely discussion. And there's plenty on that, my friend, especially recently. Yeah, the whatever formula, right? And it works. And it works for them and it works for a lot of streamers because people men want to win with women on a logic level, and they're not like us. They can they they can say all day that men and women are different, but then you're yelling at a 19-year-old 20-year-old girl from a sorority that just started her adult life about how having sex with a hot guy is bad for society, right? And she doesn't feel that way. So that's it. It ends there. And this is what I said, the only debates that actually are productive for, like, let's say for whatever discipline or institution is where people agreed 99% and there's a nuanced little argument or debate between them that if whoever wins, there's still a lot of exposition in terms of it does two things. It shows how intelligent each person in the debate is, and number two, it also exposes a lot. It's an exposition of a lot of information that the onlookers can learn from, right? So if you have, let's say I debate with a woman about, let's say, I don't know, women shouldn't be in politics, and she says women should be in politics. Okay, like those two things are so fundamentally far apart. A person that believes women shouldn't be in politics and a person that believes that women should be in politics are probably not even from the same country, didn't go to the same, not in the same political party, not the same gender. And if they are the same gender, one is either very masculine and one is very feminine. And it doesn't have to be like, it could be a feminine man and a masculine woman arguing this. But still, it's just two completely different personas that come to those conclusions. It's too wide a gap. There's nothing to be learned because everything, no matter how much logic I throw at one side, they're gonna they may throw a little logic back, but it's all gonna be emotion, and you get nowhere. It's just you're going in circles and nothing gets accomplished except those people get paid and you get entertainment, right? Cool. If it's for that, yeah. If you want to get entertained, by all means. I'd rather watch anime, but uh, for like, let's say it's two surgeons and they're talking about how to do a surgery, and one surgeon, they're both arguing how to make an incision to reach an organ to make that surgery. That within that, a young med student or young surgery student could listen to that and be like, "Wow, I just started med school, but I learned so much in this debate. And these guys are smart, and I respect the profession even more now. And I'm going to become a better surgeon. And maybe one day I'll be able to like have enough knowledge to even debate how to make an incision for a certain surgery. But like when you argue, like, hey, women should be politics and men should be in whatever. It's like one surgeon saying we should never do this surgery, and one surgeon saying we should. It's just like you can present all the things you want, but it's just the gap is too far. We disagree fundamentally on too many things for us to go anywhere besides devolving into name calling and all that stuff, right? It is what it is. So, all right, moving on. Um, we'll take a break around slide 8, I think. I know this is a lot of info. You guys feel like, is this good? Are we going at a good pace? All right, let's move on. All right, so the tetrahedron model, by Rhinestone. And I don't know what these other words are, but there's 3 pillars. And the pillars are pillar 1, the physical, pillar 2, the intellectual, and pillar 3, the emotional. And a tetrahedron, like I mentioned before, is a 3-sided pyramid, and it's one of the most stable structures in nature. And that wasn't by accident, right? There's a reason we talk about this, and there's a reason that no red pill content creator is gonna touch this, because a lot of their brands and a lot of their things kind of revolve around them uh, violating these things or not understanding these things. Because if you guys don't understand frame yet, right now, obviously there's books out, like Ryan has books on it, and posts, and there's plenty of posts on Red Pill Archive, and I went through like half of them, and half of them suck. Let's be honest, half of them suck. I read Archwinger stuff. My half-assed attempt at explaining frame in my essay, I went through all those things again. I can tell you right now, like, this is gonna make a lot of sense for you guys. It was a really good refresher for me, and hopefully it'll be a good refresher or introduction to frame for you guys, right? So, yes, and yeah, I read the book Frame, and trust me, it's one of those things where it's complicated but simple, and it's like the beginning. It Frame at the beginning when you're first learning about it seems simple as fuck, but then when you learn about it, it's complicated in the middle, and then once you finish the book, at the end, you're like, wait, it was always simple. It's just I was misled. Someone told me that Frame was kicking bitches to the curve, making lots of money so women will listen, and arguing with women through logic, beating them down through logic until they're tired. So yeah, and there's the famous quote: "From your work comes self-respect. From your self-respect comes options. From your options comes authority. From your authority comes expectations. From your expectations comes investment." Exactly. It's like the Star Wars quote that we all know that Yoda says. All right. So those are the 3 pillars. Pillar 1, the physical. Pillar 2, the intellectual. Pillar 3, the emotional. Right. To rebuild the male identity, excuse me, we must construct 3 distinct pillars to support a singular vision, and that vision is frame. I don't know if that's how it's said in his book, but that's what Notebook LM produced here. So let's just replace vision with frame. All right. So pillar 1, the physical filter. And here we have a graph that is effort and muscularity and attraction ROI, which the more muscularity you have, the more effort it takes to gain it, to maintain it, and the more attraction you get is like your ROI, like how attractive are you per unit of effort, right? And this is very important, guys, because right now we have guys that are maxing the horizontal axis of this all the way to the top because they don't want to work on the other pillars. And this is the fundamental problem of the tetrahedron of frame within these young guys and these guys that don't understand attraction or frame or any of that stuff, is that they believe if I make one of the legs more sturdy than the others by a huge magnitude, then I don't have to worry about the 2 legs. No. Yes, all 3 legs of the tetrahedron are not gonna be as firm and as strong, right? We're human, we're infallible. Not all of us can work out all the time. Not all of us, some of us, there's gonna be times in our life where we're just not emotionally strong. We have tragedy. Our bodies are broken from an accident or whatever, or you're going through a red pill rage phase and you're trying to find yourself. But, let's focus on physical filter. So the physical Pillar 1 is the physical. The trap is the arms race of looks maxing. You do not need to be a steroid monster with paper thin skin. And as you get right now, the arms race is popularized because in a society or in a generation, which is Gen Z and younger millennials, everything is online. They're they are not going out. Alcohol sales are in the gutter. They are spending so much time online that they derive a lot of their reality online, and they're not having, and this is a lot, people have their theories. People say it's because the age at which a person matures is mature enough to have a family, okay, buy a house, is more delayed than ever. So until that, which is probably 30 for a man, and 29 for a woman, um until they reach that age, what are they going to do? Women are going to sleep around, and men are going to just work and go home, I guess. So, um, we have a lot of guys that get programmed or see online as their reality because they're not going out as much. So they believe, as you can see, that it's all about looks maxing, or it's all about you got to have muscles, bro. Right? It's the imbalance and thinking that the other two legs don't matter. They'll pick one leg and the other two legs don't matter. Blah blah blah. Right? But um, so do you need to be a roided out, perfect Adonis body? Like, absolutely not. Um, but here's the thing: a lot of guys getting into the red pill, or recently divorced, or trying to unfuck their lives, they're in the bottom left of this chart, right? They have never been fit. They have never bench pressed their own body weight minimum. But um, So here's the interesting thing. They start working out, the beginner gains, and they finally stop drinking or stop their bad habits like weed or cigarettes, or sleeping too much or sleeping too little. And then they feel this incredible boost of energy and health and all that stuff. And to them, it seems like, and they start getting female attention because they've never gotten female attention before. So any girl saying hello or hi, or even having a full conversation, or a girl sliding in their DMs first rather than the other way around, right? Is incredible. It's insane. It makes them believe that it's all about looks. And that is a false flag. It's because before you got physically attractive, or, you were so ugly and fat and unkept, and you didn't shave, and you had a bad haircut, and you didn't wear shirts your size. You were so messed up that now that you cleaned up yourself a little bit and gave a shit, that now instead of 0 girls hitting on you, you had 3 girls this month. You had the cashier say she likes your shirt. One girl slid into your DMs because she's seen you've gotten fit, you used to date, or she rejected you in the past. And right now you're thinking it was all looks the whole time, and you double down on that. So you start moving into the Goldilocks zone. And the Goldilocks zone is, the Goldilocks zone is, you must be a 7 out of 10, fit, groomed, and stylish enough to be visible, right? Which is pretty easy. It's, I'm going to say it's easy and simple. Like, hey, who do you look, if you look like an artist, or who do you look like, and who do you, what do the girls that you like crush over? What type of men, right? If you like Latinas, you may have to borrow a salsa or reggaeton artist look. You know, if you like country girls, then you might have to get the cowboy look, right? You get into that Goldilocks zone, and you hit your stride physically. You've established um a, what do you call it, a physical routine where it's just, you don't even think about it. You just wake up, go to the gym, or right after work you go to the gym. Before the kids are up, you go to the gym. Or before your wife wakes up, you go to the gym. Whatever. It's like you built that into your life. It's solid. You have a solid routine. Then you realize, like, hey, I need to go whiten my teeth. And then you go to the dentist and you whiten your teeth. Then you realize, like, why is my hair like this? Right? um, I gotta fix my hair. And then you go to a stylist, or you just you go on Pinterest and you study hairstyles. And all this stuff converges, and all you have to do is give a little bit of effort, and you're in the Goldilocks zone, right? And that's where I reside. That's where Jack resides. That's where a lot of you reside. You don't need to do much else than that. It is awesome because it's the highest ROI for your effort. And we are busy people. We have jobs, we have girlfriends or plates we're spinning, we have dogs, we have family, we have financial issues that need to be taken care of. We have hobbies. We cannot be in the gym, and we don't want to. Some of us don't want to destroy or like run our body through a steroid cycle or just make our whole life about being jacked. We don't want that. If you do, that's up to you. That's your life, and you get to choose. But for most of us, we don't want that. So you want to be in the Goldilocks zone where you're getting the most for your effort per unit of effort. Now and then, you know, uh, as 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 the graph goes to the right, there is a fall in ROI because now you are taking drugs. Now you are trying extreme diets. Now you're cutting and being miserable. And when you cut, a lot of things happen to your body. You're hungry all the time. You're miserable. um your sex drive falls. Like there's so many things, so you're doing all this to your body, and unless you're preparing for a competition or you're just curious to see or you're trying to chase greatness, whatever, it's up to you. There really isn't much upside to this, right? Key concept: physicality is signaling. It buys the initial attention required to run the game. If water is good, drowning is not better. Aim for efficiency, right? And this is why importance of the physical pillar. Uh, if there's anything anyone wants to add on this, let me know. If not, I will move on. I heard somewhere that your VMS is made up of physical, money, status, and game. What's VMS? The water will get it. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, like, you guys, listen, do not let the internet fool you. Do not let this like hyper alpha, billionaire red pill playboy kind of people get you. The average guy, it's pathetic. I'm telling you guys, please believe me when I say that the average I'm 36, right? And I could just feel like there is just no competition, right? Me and maybe my friends are like the best dressed wherever we go. We're having the most fun. Um, I'm well put together. It's just, you know, trust me, guys. You don't Whenever guys discourage you or try to make you feel like your efforts aren't worth it to improve, or they put a goalpost for you, right? Um, it's because it's intersexual competition, right? So if you're not making six figures, you shouldn't even be talking to women. Says who? Says who? The only reason I talk about this Goldilocks zone and I'm trying to get you guys out the door talking to women faster and getting more leverage, right? The decision is yours, but you guys, this is what's going to help you make that reality happen. And any guy that says if you're not absolutely jacked and chiseled, you can't talk to women, that's intersexual competition. That isn't I'm worried about you. That isn't like, hey, um, I want you to succeed. That's like, hey, I achieved something, and anyone below this is beneath me. It's really pathetic and it's really sad. It's kicking the ladder under you, right? It doesn't matter if you're the ugliest motherfucker on planet Earth. Go talk to women. However, if you want to have leverage and make it easier an easier time for yourself, then follow these pillars, right? So, oh, SMB. Where'd you hear that? The physical, money, status, game. Hey, what's going on? Nice to see you, sir. Yeah, he's trying to keep you out the game. Yep. Alrighty. Let's move up to pillar two. And this is the one that everyone likes because it's where you guys get to see my beautiful face and Jack's beautiful face and Ryan's and Rolo's and Cappy's. It's the intellectual map, the concept, understanding the rules of the game, evolutionary psychology, hypergamy, and solipsism. All those little buzzwords and terms. And like Archwinger says, he doesn't like buzzwords because it removes nuance. But yes, you need to understand the red pill. And it will help you. Do you need to understand everything? No. Do you need to apply everything all the time, 24/7? No, it's a toolbox. you apply what you need, and then you move on. Um, you need to know what hypergamy is, and I'm not talking about like bitches ain't shit hypergamy, right? Hypergamy. I'm talking about hypergamy. Alpha fucks, beta bucks. Women have a dualistic mating strategy, meaning that they have two things that they need from men. They need the genetics, like, hey, a guy that's hot, maybe tall, maybe unshakable and charming, um, maybe whatever, right? And they need the beta buck side, like, hey, I need a guy that has a future. I need a guy that is going to be a good father. I need a guy that's going to stick around, that shows a relationship investment. They need all of those things. However, depending on the woman and the culture you're in, and the circumstances of the woman, those things may change, right? That's why when women are 30, they're settled down with a kind of softer, kinder guy, um, because in that moment, in that era of her life, she needs a guy that's going to stick around because she's out of time. She needs to get pregnant. Um, but during her 20s, she doesn't worry about that. So yeah, it's mostly alpha guys, right? Now there's cultural stuff like, hey, if you live in a society with, like, I don't know, arranged marriage, or hey, if you're single, you're a disgrace to your family, or maybe you come from a rich family and you need to marry because that's what everyone does in your family. It's very closed off. Then yes, then the slider changes. But purpose, predictive power. When you know why she acts that way, biology, socialization, you stop taking it personally, right? And this is the part where even guys that consume red pill stuff, they still like refuse to they get it, but it's just very begrudgingly so, right? So for example, people will be like, Star Wars is lame and everything is lame and this movie is lame, and Warhammer has women in it now. And I'm like, okay, well, we've explained to you many times that the reason this is happening is because women have more purchasing power by a lot. They purchase more. It's easier to part women with their money by a lot, like 3 times, I think 3 or 4 times, than it is to part men with their money. So if companies want to survive and satisfy their shareholders, they have to sell to women. And in order to sell to women, you have to market and appeal to them. That is why Star Wars is lame now. It doesn't appeal to men because it's easier to sell to just women than it is to sell to men and women, right? It's really hard. Um, the shift. Knowledge replaces anger with strategy. If a child calls you a name, you don't fight them. You understand that they are a child. Apply this detachment to spelled wrong, intersexual conflict. And this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, I know that sometimes we forget that women are women. We live in a world that where gynocentrism is so endemic and so within the fabric of society that sometimes a lot of us end up arguing with women. And we're just like, oh crap, I forgot they were a woman and not a man. Or you end up expecting a woman to act like a man, and you're just like, ah, crap, I forgot she's a girl. Of course, she can't do this, right? Or we see a female politician that we all get behind, and we're like right now, the PM of Japan, everyone's cheering her on, everyone's happy, and right now, a lot of guys forget that she's still a woman, right? She is still a woman. Therefore, she is when she does something that's outside of what you expect her to do, then you can be like, oh yeah, I forgot she's a girl. And you don't have to be mad. You don't have to waste another 6 months being disappointed in people, um, and politicians and family members, in your girlfriend, in your wife. And really, I had a big post about this the other day where this guy on Reddit was mad that his wife didn't share his interests. He's like, I like to do nerdy stuff. Like, I think it was like Warhammer, or no, it was about talking about World War II, like tanks and weapons. Which woman do you know is into that shit? None. None of them are like, I don't know any woman that's into like World War II anything, right? But then he's like disappointed in his wife because she's not more like a man. And that's the end game of the blue pill. It's where guys believe, and like the equality, the egalitarian equalism, it's the end game is men and women being even more mad at each other because neither of them can accept the other for what they are. And this is why it's so important to accept the red pill, is not to win an argument or to show women up or to hold them accountable. It's simply to understand them. And then from there you get to make your choice. Do you understand them? Do you feel like you could have a normal relationship? Do you want to? Yes? Okay, great. Do you just wanna play the field now for now? Sure, that's good too. Do you wanna go up in the mountains and run away from women for the rest of your life? Hey, if you have the power to do it, don't let me stop you. But the information is there. And yes, you may forget sometimes. Yes, you may like, "Oh, crap, she's a girl. That's right. She isn't equipped to do this or she isn't equipped to do that." But that's okay because you're already getting that uh, predictive power. You're not shocked. You don't have to do a 3-hour, uh, stream on, "Holy shit, guys, can you believe that Kamala Harris said this and blamed someone else for losing the election?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course she did. Duh." Or, like, for example, like, every day on this app, I some streamers that I didn't know anything about. I'm a millennial, I don't care, but, um, 2 streamers that apparently had a nice little love story where the guy stood by the girl's side, because during her cancer diagnosis and, like, gave up his dreams and goals and everything, right? And there's so many red pill lessons in there. It's almost disgusting how many red pill lessons are in there. But he gave up everything for her, and everyone's shocked that she broke up with him. I'm like, "You guys are shocked? How are you shocked? How are you mad?" It's like, I mean, of course, he's mad. It sucks for him, but, like, we know this shit happens all the time. We know why, and we know that women are on a timeline, and we know that women are constantly evaluating not constantly, but often evaluate if the guy they're with is the best option, especially when they're young. So it's like, surprise, everyone, surprise, a woman chose what's best for her. Women love opportunistically, and everyone's shocked. And then you have the Sarah Stock thing where everyone's shocked again, which we gotta be honest, it was kinda shocking. It was kinda like, "Whoa, what the hell?" But the thing is the same. It's just like, yes, there's initial shock because it was just but something was off. Something was always off with this woman. And now everyone's like blaming religion, blaming demons, blaming the man, blaming I'm like, no, it's just female nature. And that's why a lot of guys struggle with female agency. And especially religious men struggle with female agency. It's like they cannot accept female nature. So they agree with women in that things happen to women and women don't have any agency. Things happen to them. Women can become pastors, women can do all these things, but the gangbang she participated in, it was she was, coerced. She was on drugs, she was high, she wasn't in control. Sure. So, yeah, yeah, almost too many. We definitely in a topic. Uh, I'll think about it. I'm not trying to stream that much anymore, but so, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's not the thing is, guys, like I can do a show every time some streamer or some famous person or someone that is in our niche or close or adjacent does something stupid. And we did a rule zero about it yesterday, which we had a whole bunch of guys on there. But the thing is, guys, like we have to like we have to move. I mean, I say you as an individual have to start using this red pill knowledge to have that predictive power and move on faster, right? Being the outrage that we get every time a woman does something, it's gonna wear you out. You're gonna get tired. You're going to burn out. It's just that's not what we're here for, right? It's just we're here to use this to like get a little peace and quiet and sleep better. Am I shocked that a Christian woman that shames other women that's young and cute and around men with high status men with mics, um, and also, very outspoken and almost to the point where it's like annoying, sleeps with the man as cheats? Of course not. Didn't shock me in the slightest. Why? Because I have experience and I have pillar two of the intellectual man. So alrighty, guys. Let's go to 7. Pillar 3, emotional killology. Killology. There you go. I don't know if that's how it is in the book, but let's just go with killology. Please don't shoot the messenger. All right. Concept: mastering the internal game, overcoming learned helplessness and the instinctual need for validation. And this is why this is the hardest. right? Because you could have the muscles, the looks, shave, perfect shirt. You could look like a Calvin Klein model. You could you can know everything about red pill, everything. You could have read every single book of all time, every article, everything. But if you don't master this, good luck. You're just gonna be another dope arguing with women on Twitter or angry, and you're gonna go home angry, and the women that you argue with are gonna go home and suck their a man's dick and be happy and fuck 4 guys in a week, and it's like Michael's story, right? And if you guys don't know Michael's story, it's just a guy that couldn't understand that women get away with stuff. So, um, learned helplessness. And guys, it's sad because what they call the manosphere, which it doesn't exist, but from the perspective of an outsider, what they call manosphere, that's all it is. It's just learn guys would learn helplessness. Coming together to worship 4 or 5 figures, and then their followers need validation, and get congratulations, you've gotten nowhere. Um, just as soldiers train on silhouettes to bypass the reluctance to kill, men must dehumanize the conflict to bypass the hesitation to assert boundaries, right? And this is the hard part because, again, it's really easy to talk about how you could kick a bitch to the curb, how you could tell a bitch no, how you can set a boundary, how you could do this, right? Everyone talks about it. Um, Everyone loves to talk about it. We all get online and be like, "I remember I told that bitch no, and I told her this," and everyone claps, right, like seals. But when you got a living, breathing woman in front of you, right, and she's crying, and your adrenaline response in your brain starts, kicking up, because when women cry, it kicks in. Our adrenaline spikes, and you don't know what to do. And she may have your last name, or you don't want to lose her because she's an eater or something, or she found out you have another woman, and you have all these things in front of you, and she's like crashing out. It's not as easy. It's not. And that's why we don't really like care about when men say, like, kick that bitch to the curb. I'm like, really, dude? Is that it? It's just every single girl that like even tests your frame a little bit, you tell them to leave? Does that sound like you got game? Does that sound like you're good with women? Right? Um, all right. Men must dehumanize the conflict to bypass the hesitation to assert boundaries, right? Like, you need to understand that a lot of the times when women cry or anything like that, it's not that it's not that they've won the argument. It's not that, it's that their emotions are spilling out, and you have to be stone cold. And this is like what Patrice O'Neal used to talk about back in the day. This is what a lot of old players of old, not the players were like, like not like mystery. I'm talking about like pimps of old. Like, this is like almost like pimp game. Women will crash out, and they don't even know why. And they'll wake up the next day like nothing happened. It's not something personal. It's just that women are emotional creatures. Right. And like Jack says, crying is a carefully chosen strategy. It's not something that it's not something that is response to you. They're trying to fuck with you. They're trying to see if you cave and you fold, because it's women's ultimate strategy is crying. That is why the media shows crying children and women when trying to dunk on ice and say ice is bad, right? For guys that are feminized and women, this affects them. But for guys that are like have any level of testosterone and are red pilled, they understand that this is manipulation. The media is trying to use children and weaponizing your male instinct to protect against you. So they can further their agenda. It's nefarious. So yeah, the real tears are in private. Real tears is when a woman goes to the bathroom and cries and is embarrassed to be seen crying. Those are real tears, right? So yeah. Um, all right. Application. Treat emotional turbulence as data points, not directives. This is the hardest pillar. Men with muscles and facts often crumble under emotional pressure. Yeah. And if you don't believe me, look at their beloved streamers, right? And I'm not to toot my own horn too much, right? I've been on with female streamers that disagree with me. And remember when I first came on the scene, and I started like talking to Angela Knight, and I know guys were dunking on her. I was silly, dumb girl, whatever, blah blah, right? But I said, hey, let me get in the middle of this chaos in between red pill content creators and all that stuff. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna have a talk to her. And it wasn't about her, it was about me. Like I wanted to see what this whole arguing with women shit and I wanted to test my ability to calm this woman the fuck down. I wanted to be like, hey, this woman hates everything I stand for. This woman thinks I'm probably disgusting. And I DM'd her and we had a talk. And by the believe that she was kind of hot, by the way. By the end of the video, we matter of fact, I'll pull it up right now, guys. Let me see if Let me see if I can pull it up. But by the end of the video, she was laughing and chilling. And then I guys, I have a little bit of game. I've talked to women before in my life. So I just use kind of like stuff, like basic game stuff. And by the end of the thing, I kind of shocked her with my final question. Right. And the question was, I asked her for advice. I flipped it, right? Because that she's used to dealing with men that think they know everything. And, there's so much ego about what they know and they're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. And she's ready for that. She's ready to be ranked, like ready for me to be like, you're wrong. You're stupid. You're just a hoe. You don't know anything about red pill. But then at the end of the show, I was like, hey, do you have any advice for me as a content creator? And it shocked her. Right. And that's what I wanted to show. I wanted to show my audience that I'm not that type of guy. It's not that I have frame, because frame is not something you have. It's just that I don't need her to agree with me. Why do I need someone to agree with me? I know that the red pill helped me, and I know that it works. Why do I need her to believe me? I don't care. No, she was engaged, so yeah. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Somewhere here. It was an interview. Oh wait, I have a playlist of nuclear interviews. Where is it? Playlist. All right. How about this, guys? Let's take a quick break and then I'll set this up for you guys. So this one respected the ring. Oh, that's funny. Where's that one comment? Guys, drop a like, super chat. If you guys got questions, please ask, please fire off. Let's take a quick break and kind of process what we just learned and then move on. All right, guys, give me a second. I want to get this right. How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully everyone's good. Okay, I can't do two screens. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I thought I could do two screens at once, but I can't. All right. So if you guys remember a couple years ago, like 2023, when I first came on the scene, let me do theater mode. There we go. I was talking to this girl, and I think it was Glenn that got me in contact with her. And this girl was mad because MLD John, if you guys don't remember, he's a more established red pill content creators in Japan now, call her or call her fat in a group chat or something on a public chat, and then when he was in on live on a show with her, she called him out, and because he had to leave early, it made it look like he was just walking out because he couldn't handle the heat of being called out. Right? It was really bad PR. It was um so uh basically it's just I don't have anything significant, but I was just explaining to her.
shit online. I think it's a very, very emotional thing
Hold on, I know there's an echo.
for a guy to do, and then not take any accountability for that. So it's really unattractive.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're I understand where you're coming from, and like I said, Angela, the red pill is not a group. Like what one person does not represent me.
So for you guys that read, what is it? When I say no, I feel guilty. I just used there like two things, right? I'm broken record. I understand what you're saying, but it's this, and I use that throughout. Yeah, I can see why you say that. Yeah, it's fogging. Like I understand, but then I went back to reiterating my point. So we're gonna talk about later in the show how you can uh, establish. This is part of the emotional pillar, right? This is the part that guys don't want to fucking work on. They believe it's looks, and then they include frame and game and muscles, money, frame and game. But they have no fucking idea what frame is. They think it's just kicking a bitch to the curb when she annoys you a little bit. I'm like, great, dude. Yeah.
Me, and what other person does doesn't represent anyone else, right? We're all individuals. However, I understand that from an outside. I mean, you're not an outsider, but from, let's say, a person that wasn't in the space like you, it looks like we're all just some big bullies out to attack people. Do I agree? Do I agree with being mean to people online? No, it doesn't make me feel manly, but understand that it does not excuse online behavior like that. But I will say that what's the reason a lot of these red pill guys, I don't want to say red pill guys, the reason
So what do you call them then? What is the terminology for these dorks? Because if not, I can't curse because that's not feminine. But
She was mad. She was really mad, guys. She was pissed. She was like, "What do I call these dorks? What like?" And then I'm not gonna waste too much time. You know what? I'll put the link for you guys if you guys want to watch it later. This is when I first came on the scene. It's good stuff. I'll probably watch it later. But so I'm kind of new here. Is this person into psychology and personalities and stuff? I am a red pill content creator, sir. All right. So
I don't like them, so I need to give them something.
You say whatever you want on the Newcast. You can say whatever you want. So you call Rollo Tomasi, Ryan Stone, Nuclear Caudillo, Jack Napier. We're all individuals, right? We come together. They come together on Saturdays, have a Rule Zero. They talk, and then they go back to their respective lives, right? Now, some of them are closer to each other because they collaborate. They're also friends. That happens. But at the same time, the red pill is not a group. It is not an ideology. It is not. We don't get together and say, how are we gonna change the space today? And that's the hard part of people to understand. And it goes both ways. Like a lot of guys, we have this thing, right? And we've been attacking this where we're trying to outsource the responsibility of making positive changes in our own life to outside of ourselves. So when guys will like throw money at these podcasts, right, thinking that they're changing women or changing things for the better, right, but they're not doing any work in their own life, right? So the biggest problem in the red pill now is that, number one, people don't know what to define it as. And then, like, if let's say I'm mean to you, now all the red pills we suck, but at the same time, if I throw money at a podcast or I vote for Trump, or I say things like, oh, we got to get together and hold women accountable, is that does that sound like a praxeology to you? No. Like if Rollo Tomasi today said something so ridiculous and outlandish, the red pill would still exist. It wouldn't go away. If all of us disappeared, as long as there's men talking about women trying to either get laid, get married, make their wife happy, whatever they want, there will always be the red pill. The red pill is open source, and it does not.
All right, blah blah blah. She doesn't look happy. Trying to go. Yeah, and then by the end of the show, she was like laughing by the end of the show. Let me see if I can find where she was. But anyways, you guys kind of get it, right? Like, you don't want to win debates. Who cares, right? You're here. They're there to inform. You're there to kind of, hey, this is what it is. If you don't believe it, great. I don't care. This is what it is. I'm doing this because I have a viewership, and I want them to understand that I understand, and vice versa. So yeah, this is how you do it, guys. Like, you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need people to agree with you, right? I'm happy to tell you what I think if you ask, but you don't need people to agree with you, and beat that into your head, because going through life and being like, if only they thought like me, if only they did the same, believe the same things I believe, I would be happy. How does that make sense? You know, it's you don't want to do that.
Be fair, you did a great job articulating. I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying.
No, you did amazing. And again, to clarify to any dorks out there, I do not hate men. I do not hate the red pill, actually, for what it is. I do not like the surface, whatever the hell it's being represented as those entertainment spaces and the guys who are. So to be fair, that's who I actually do not like. And I think it's fair to say I do not like them. Equivalent to these guys not liking hoes, I can have my own preference of people I like and don't like. And I think that's fair to say that. So I just want to say that.
Okay, no problem. We're on board. We're all with you, Angela.
Anyways, thank you so much for this. You're amazing. You're great. Keep doing what you're doing, and
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you grow.
What can I say, guys? This woman was angry, and look at her. She's praising me. She's saying that continue to doing what you're doing, and I'm happy. And look at her. She's smiling, and she's gonna go to bed happy and fuck her husband or whatever. Great. So yeah, that's I'm not saying I'm like the super awesome, most frame guy, because I lose, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. But at the same time, guys, like, do you see how there is another way? There is a better way to deal with women that isn't uh, brute forcing or saying or flexing or saying or kicking them to the curve or whatever. There is a way to communicate, and it's not the whole logical, well, I'm logical and you're not. It's two different arenas, and this becomes easier, guys, when you have the three pillars, right? And I'm telling you guys, as I got fit when I joined the Navy, I put on a whole bunch of muscle when when I got into the Navy. I learned red pill stuff since like 2011. I was no before, like, yeah, 2011 is when I started getting red pill, super red pill, right? I saw the pickup artist in 2006, 2007 when it came out, but after that, like 2011 is when I was like really seriously on the blogs, Roost Forum, Return of Kings, reading 48 Laws of Power, and then The Game by Neil Strauss, all that shit, right? I was reading all that. But the emotional pillar, dude, guys, that shit, oh, man, that really stripped me of who I was. Like, I realized that you cannot have frame unless the emotional pillar is the hardest. These guys, the guys that came before me, that understood this before me, they were fucking right. The emotional pillar is disgustingly harder than the other two. And I don't mean that for you guys to lose hope. I mean to give it the respect it deserves. Because this is the part where men kind of fall flat, right? Because you just go to the gym every day and you shave. It's basic. It's very simple stuff like brushing your teeth. It becomes who you are. It's easy. It's a habit. But understanding she's not yours, it's just your turn. That shit, that shit's not easy. It's not something you get day one. Understanding all women are promiscuous, assume all women are promiscuous, but don't obsess. Do you think a guy on day one is going to accept that? He'll accept the all women are promiscuous, But the don't obsess part, he won't get that shit for years, for a decade. The whole, like Jack just said, like the be attractive, don't be unattractive. He's gonna work hard as hell to give the perfect physique to the point where it's all he cares about. And then the don't be unattractive, he's not gonna be able to say hi to a woman. He's gonna be terrified to say hello. It's the emotional pillar is so important, guys, and I need you guys to give it the respect that it deserves because it is the hardest, and and it hurts, and it hurts on a different level. Going to the gym, it's gonna hurt, but you have testosterone, right? You're designed to lift heavy things. Um, learning, women are logical. So when we read Cappy's books on economics and the red pill, that shit's gonna be like super easy to digest. It's gonna be amazing. You can't get enough. There isn't enough red pill content in the world when you first get red pilled. But when you have to face women in your real life, right? And this is what I'm writing now in my Substack. I'm writing about the girls that gave me the emotional, that trained me, right? That helped me get through this part, right? And a lot of people will think like, why are you writing about women? You know, you got to be alpha, and you can't have these stories where you don't come out on top. And I'm like, no, it's not about winning. That's not what frame is. If you want to solidify and strengthen your emotional pillar, there is a certain amount of respect and kind of inner work you have to do for yourself. And sometimes that involves looking at the women in your situation and being incredibly honest with yourself. And men have a lot of trouble, especially when they're unplugging because they're a victim mentality, 100% victim. Women have lied to me, the system, it's all I'm the victim, blah, blah. And it's just like, great. Maybe you are, but we got to move along. Well, how can you win? And you cannot change what you cannot change, and you're stuck. So what do you do? And this is where the emotional pillar starts, right? So
サンキューソーマッチベストフレンド
King Jules 721 with the $2 super chat. Name of book, article, or source. Sorry, joining late. So this show is based on Rhinestone's Frame book, more specifically the tetrahedron of frame, the concept he came up with. Iron Rule of Tomasi #1, which is, frame is everything, and which is on his website. And it's also based on Archwinger's Women Are Frame Masters, Men Are Frame Children article on Substack, which is free. Just search for it on his Substack. And then my article based on frame and all that stuff, which it's a weaker facsimile of Archwinger's article, but I gave it a shot, right? Yeah, but those are the sources for today's show if you guys want to look that up. So yeah. Yeah, and there's my link tree, guys, if you guys want to go in there. All right, where were we? So yeah, let's bring the presentation again. Let's move through because you guys got things to do. There we go. All righty. So we already talked about pillar 3. Capstone or conclusion. The pillars exist to support something greater. A man must have a direction that is his own, independent of his relationship. The shift, you are not an NPC in her story. She is a guest in yours. Insight. A military-grade vision renders the petty squabbles of daily life irrelevant. Fame comes from having something more important to do than argue. So essentially, like we saw in this little streamer, corny-ass streamer couple, where the guy dropped his whole life's mission, his desires, his wants, everything to be by a girl's side. Now, from our perspective, from the beta man's perspective, he did the right thing. He did what he was supposed to do, take care of his girl. And that's the Disney answer. And that's the answer that women want. But guess what? Guess who's supporting who when they broke up? It wasn't the women supporting him. It was the women still siding with the girl, being like, oh, they just grew apart. You don't understand, bro. Like, even though she stood by his side, or he stood by her side, she's still the one that is in the right here. Or they're both just grew apart. And I'm like, yeah, a guy that let go of everything he known and loved and dumped money and time and effort and his dreams and his career, put it all on pause for a girl, didn't get what he wanted out of it, and the girl left him anyway. You think that guy's like happy or like understand? No, that guy is broken. I know because a lot of us have been there. So yeah. So yeah. Um all right. So let me see if there's anything to add to this frame comes from yeah, so basically and anything outside of your frame is either irrelevant, unimportant, amusing, or whatever. Like one of those three things. It's just and think about it, guys. When you have frame, the daily little things about life don't affect you as much. Right? You wake up and your girl gives you a little attitude in the morning, and you're like, oh, I guess she has an attitude today. Interesting. And then you move on. That's it. It's no fight. It's not like you sit down and like, babe, why are you like this? No, you're just like, oh, whatever. You can have your little attitude. And when women crash out or like, hey, I'm mad at you, blah, blah, you can just simply like, what's your plan? What are you going to do now? Right? It's not important. It's outside of your frame. It's not important. Her little attitude, her little uh 10-hour silent treatment because you didn't take out the trash or something. Great. Congratulations. Cool. I get time off. I get time away. I don't have to text you all day now. So really it's this, and this is why the emotional pillar is so hard because it's easy to fake. You can watch a streamer like, man, this guy gets bitches. He tells women to kick him to the curb. But behind closed doors, he's probably getting beat by his wife or something, unfortunately. So we don't know this. Yeah, anything outside of your frame is either amusing, intriguing, funny, or unimportant. You know, trivial. Well, the thing is, guys, should doesn't mean anything. Should is the weakest word. We don't use should here in the red pill. It doesn't. It's stupid word. It doesn't help anything. It's just create. It's an expectation with no teeth, and all it does is waste everyone's time. We care about what is and how to win and what is. So, all right. Tactics are training wheels. Let's move on. We got like 5 more slides, guys. 4 more slides, guys. Bear with me. Um, Tactics are training wheels. So, concept, pickup tactics, NLP. uh, NLP is neuro linguistic programming. I think it was who popped it? Was it? Ah, crap. Was it Tom Torero or no? It's the guy that also came up with deep conversion. Nick Krauser, I think, was neuro linguistic programming. Negging, peacocking are not frame. They are temporary tools to bridge the gap between incompetence and mastery, right? And that's what game is. Game is basically you're creating status out of thin air. So you need stuff like negging and peacocking and all that stuff to create status enough so where the girl will pick up what you're putting down, you get late, right? And then as you get more experience with women, you get closer to mastery. It's almost like faking it, but also within that, it's a skill. So was it Ross Jeffries? It was Ross Jeffries, wasn't it? All right. A goal. Move from doing frame, conscious effort, to having frame, unconscious competence. Uh, so in Rollo's essay about frame, Iron Rule number 1, he talks about how once you become your mental point of origin, it's the amount of brain power or the synapses or like same concept with like Ultra Instinct from Dragon Ball Super, where Whis tells Goku, I just want the response from your brain to your muscles to be so automatic that it's subconscious. Like you don't that's why they call it autonomous ultra instinct in the show. It's autonomous. It's not something you think about, it just happens. Same thing with mental point of origin. As soon as someone says or does or tells you something, you run it through a filter of how does it affect me and what does this have to do with me. So if a girl cries to you about how something you do, you know, you do she doesn't like, you just what does this have to do with like what does that have to do with me? So, goal. Move from specific tools, fogging, and this is what I was doing earlier, fogging, agree and amplify, deflecting tests with humor rather than logic. And that's I'm not saying that interview with Angela was a masterclass in that, right? But I was using those tactics because I knew this person was already angry at me because I represented something that was tarnishing her reputation and made her feel bad. And guys, keyword feel. Feel. So what did I do? Hey, she says, Red Pill is a group of guys that suck. And I was like, we're not a group of guys. I understand why it seems that way. And it, I couldn't blame you for thinking that way, but it's this. But then you guys all stream together. I understand that it looks that way but we all have our own individual lives, right? And we, uh, we all do our own thing. But we come together and talk. Doesn't mean we're all, buddy buddy. Like some of us are friends because we met in person. We have similar interests outside of Red Pill. Like me and Jack like anime, right? And Rolo and Ryan and they met in person, right? They actually had a good time and chatted and met in person. Um, so, but we're not a group of people. And then over time, I used humor, right? I didn't use logic. I didn't see it. I made her laugh. She was giggling by the end of the show. I agreed and amplify. She said, a lot of those dorks, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, those dorks. Am I right? They make everything bad. I hate that. I don't like them either. The guys that just want to yell at women and don't want to improve their lives. Am I right? And she was like on board. And by the end of the show, she was laughing, praising me, saying that she had a great time. And yeah, basically became little online mutuals, right? So anime is definitely not my forte. Well, get on it, sir. There's a lot of good shit coming out. Yeah, I watched Gundam Wing as a kid. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I watched Gundam Wing as a kid. Yeah, exactly. BJ, glutes. Anything outside of your frame doesn't move you. Yeah, doesn't move you. Great, cool. You're sad today. That's great, and you'll be surprised. You think when a woman is sad or she tells you I'm sad or I'm this, right? A lot of men feel like, oh, I got to make her feel better, but you don't have to do any of that. Like what I would do when I was dating a girl and she was like, I'm sad or in a bad mood, I'd be like, um, all right, let's go walk the dogs, or like not walk the dogs. I didn't have a dog back then, but let's go for a walk, right? I need to get some fresh air. And we go, and then she's like smopey, and then we stop and get like candy at a corner store, and I hand her a piece of candy. She's like, "Yay, candy!" And I'm just like, she's like telling me talking. I'm just like, "Oh, cool, interesting, right?" And by the time we get back from the walk, she's happy. You see what I'm saying? Instead of me like, tell me your emotions, I can fix everything. You're just like, oh, okay, cool. Tell me. And you just blah, blah, blah talks. You give her a little piece of candy or something, or you pick a flower off the ground and give it to her. And even though she's mad, even if she's mad at you, eventually it'll pass, just like everything else. Yeah. So yeah. Skittles, man. Sure. That's a different thing. Well, Skittles, man, is very applies because it's gonna be Valentine's Day this weekend. So all right. Negative inquiry, forcing an explanation of irrationality without anger. Right. So negative inquiry, fogging, all those things. It's a topic for another day. Your uh your assertive tools, your assertive bill of rights, your assertive tools to establish boundaries and be assertive. That's a big topic. And that thing is gonna help you so much in life that you guys don't understand. That it's again we ignore everyone has muscle advice. You go to any guy on the red pill, we have our own program that we swear by, and we've built our own. On the internet, there's an endless amount of trainers. Most of them are full of shit and are basically influencers. There's so much of the other two stuff. And then like we have books, we have all this stuff, right? But the emotional stuff, man, this is what you guys got to hammer on because that will separate you from the angry black pill doomer guy on a podcast that did everything right, but didn't focus on the important stuff like the emotional side. And um, here he is yelling at women and still mad and angry. He can't hack it. Yet some guy that's probably making less money than him is able to take rejection, sleeping around. He lost a girl in his rotation and he didn't freak out. He didn't get mad. He just like, hey, that's life. and that's the emotional pillar. And and we all kind of have our own version, right? Like, and I write about the cookie in the pocket method, which, if you guys don't know, when I was in the Navy, the food wasn't always great, as you guys can imagine. And I would go always grab a cookie at the end of the line. The cookies were pretty good. They were wrapped in plastic. And even when I didn't want a cookie, I would grab one and then I would put it in my pocket. And there were times where I'd forget about the cookie and then I'd take off my coveralls. And then the next day or 2 days later, I'd wear that pair of coveralls, put them on, and then I'd be having a bad day, or I'd be hungry, or I'd be swamped in paperwork. And then I'd reach into my pocket and be like, oh crap, there's a cookie here. And instead of throwing it away at the end of the day, I just kept it. It's wrapped in plastic. It's fine. And then I would go have my coffee with a cookie, and it would brighten my day. If I was hungry, I'd have this, and it'd hold me into the next meal. And yeah, it was great. And that's the same thing with women. Instead of being mad when women leave your life and trying to act and look for an explanation, or keep trying to get them back into your life through rationalizing, just let them go. Don't chase them out of your life permanently. Just let them go. And then they'll come back. Leave the door open. And you realize that maybe you're having trouble getting laid. And then one day a girl's going to be like, hey, can I come over? Hey, you want to hang out? I'm in town. Or, hey, I'm in the bar next door, which happens to me all the time. I'm in the bar next door. Come down. Right? A girl that I hadn't seen for a month, 2 months, 6 months, even a year. Right? And you're like, whoa, that was easy. And I'm like, yeah, that's the emotional pillar working for you. You didn't get mad when she left. You didn't ask for an explanation. You just understood she's not yours. It's just your turn. And hoes are going to be leaving. They're going to come. And right now you accepted it so well that all of a sudden, oh shit, you're getting extra bonus sex. And it's easy. And it's with someone that knows your body in and out. You know her body. You've hooked up with her 20 times. So it's like, whoa, I know now what they mean, how important this is, because this is what's going to separate you from everyone. I'm telling you, this is the true 1%, is this shit. Mountain Man Tops, let's get a super chat.
Thank you so much, best friend.
All right, let's everyone in the chat super chat $2 to Nuke. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You guys don't have to super chat me $2, but I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, Mountain Man Tops. We got another super chat here. We'll give Donald J. DeMarco the $6 shrimp special.
Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. $6 shrimp special!
All right. Stack these $2 supers. Nice visuals again. By the way, thank you. Yeah, guys, I just want to like make the show a little better and increase the quality. You guys deserve it. Hopefully I'm not wasting your time. Yeah, reacting versus responding, right? Yeah. Got another $2 super chat. Thank you. We'll give you a normal one.
Thank you so much, best friend.
Corey6603 with the $2. LOL. Don't tell the church folks I agree so much. Oh no, dude, you're safe here. We're not here to your faith. You're able to have your faith and exercise it. You are a man. But remember, like, Frame is going to help you in every area of life, not only romantically or sexually with women, it's with people, your friends, your kids, your mother, your father, any relationship you have, this will work, right? So, God, are you guys starting a $2 super chat train? Jesus. Here you go.
Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. $6 shrimp special!
Luis Dev with the 199. Great discourse so far, Nuke. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I will continue to increase the quality as long as you guys watch. I will increase the quality and get the right information out there. So, alrighty, let's get back to work, guys. All right, so, all right, let's move on to the next frame. I think you guys got it. Calibration, the Goldilocks zone. Avoid the autistic extremes of the red pill. Man, do we struggle with this? If a little red pill is good, the whole bottle is not better. Strategy, adjust effort to results. The goal is efficiency. Do not act based on a script. Act based on the reality in front of you. And this is the whole be like me, it worked for me bullshit, where like, if you are in a culture or state or institution or infrastructure or anything, whatever you are in, and being jacked is being a certain level of fit is enough, then don't do more, right? It's enough. If you live like I was making like 75K a year when I was like in my demon era, just like hooking up 3 times a week with women, right? I took advantage of all how easy dating apps were, and that's why I'm able to present this information to you today. But I realized that, like, hey, after a certain amount of money, it doesn't make much. It doesn't matter, right? It matters if you want a wife and kids because health insurance is expensive and buying houses is expensive. But like for having fun, after like 75K, I was like, oh, it doesn't get much better than this. I like the extra money because I want to build my retirement account and maybe go fly see my mom and hedge against inflation. But for the most part, yeah, after 75K, I didn't notice any difference in the quality of women or anything, really. So, efficiency, right? Efficiency. Uh, don't be dumb. Don't waste your time. Don't max out something and then leave something completely unattended. You can be the most handsome looking man there on earth. But if you don't have frame, if you don't have that third leg, the emotional pillar of the tetrahedron, you're gonna suffer. It's gonna suck. And you're gonna be twice as angry. Because not only are you suffering with women, you are also gonna be twice as entitled because everyone tells you that you're handsome, you're good looking, even women. And you're still not being successful. And even you are successful, it's costing you a lot. It's costing you a lot of money. It's costing you a lot of time, a lot of emotional effort, and it's because you neglected the hardest part of the pillar, which is the emotion. So, yeah. Oh, we got another $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. You get shrimp special.
Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. $6 shrimp special!
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, Mr. Todd. All right. I want to play ball too. W nuke. Shout out clavicular. No man with no frame and the shit they do. Tell me about it. Great article. I forgot to include it in today's thing, but you guys can look it up. You guys, it's on One More Please's Substack. But all right, next one. Be the bullfighter. Metaphor. When she brings chaos, her reality, do not validate it by fighting it. Don't stop the bull. Step aside and let it pass. Action. Invite her into your calm rather than entering her storm. If you argue facts against her feelings, you validate her frame and lose yours. Again, this is what the debaters do. The guys that are making lots of money for guys that don't have frame, that don't understand the tetrahedron of frame or what it takes to be a guy with frame. And arguing facts against feelings, again, is the two completely different sports ball courts. You're arguing someone that's on a tennis court and you're playing basketball, or you're bringing a basketball to a tennis court. Waste of time. And though I use facts against Angela or with Angela, right? I still used feelings, right? And that's what these like fogging and negative assertion and all that stuff. Hey, I understand why you feel that way. It makes sense. Or broken record. Yeah, I can see how you feel that, but it's this. Yeah, I can get your perspective. That makes sense to me. But it's this. And you see how like she wasn't defensive. By the end of the show, she was like, bravo, bravo. Like even she understood like this guy knows how to talk to me. Right. And if I would have argued nothing but facts, hey, statistically speaking, women are like this, blah, blah. All it is going to validate her frame. And her frame is red pill guys are fucking assholes. Right. So Be the bullfighter. You know, she's coming at you. What are you gonna? You gonna try to grab her by the horns? You might stop her. Who knows? But wouldn't you rather just sidestep and have the bull just tire itself out with you doing minimal effort? All right. The beta slide and LTR security. The beta slide. Key insight. Even high-powered independent women crave a man who can tell them no. It provides safety. If you do not lead, she feels unsafe and will check your frame constantly to see if the walls are still standing. And this is the whole drunken captain first mate metaphor. You're the drunken captain, and your first mate doesn't trust that you know what you're going. There's an iceberg approaching, and the first mate doesn't think you know what you're doing. So the first mate's going to nag and test the captain to see if he's going to do the right thing for both of you guys and the ship. So comfort is the enemy of frame. The beta slide occurs when a man stops leading because it's easier to say yes. And this is what happens when men just like, yes, dear, or let me check in with the wife, or happy wife, happy life, all that shit. It's men forget how important it is to like hold boundaries and to establish them and enforce them and sometimes display them, right? A lot of guys, you can set boundaries all day. Like, I don't like when you do this, but if you don't enforce the boundary actively, then she won't care, right? And what's the only thing you have? You can remove your time, affection, and money. So if she does something you don't like, you just walk away, and maybe even if you live together, just don't pay attention to her, don't give her time or effort, and then eventually she's gonna come and she's gonna act all cutesy and give you a hug and lay on your chest and all that stuff. And you don't need an apology from her, but you know that like she is saying like, hey, you win. Like, I wanted you to validate my emotions and validate my frame by you getting mad and explaining to me logically. I wanted that, but you didn't give it to me. You have frame, sir, and that's mental point of origin. So here is a atom symbol where you're in the middle. You are the nucleus, and there's subparticles like society, wife, job, and parents. Reject the victim mindset. If the frame is yours, the fault is yours. And here's another thing. A lot of guys, they always talk about like how therapy sucks. And what does therapy do but tell you that nothing is your fault and everything happens to you? Obviously, there's some therapists that probably tell you, hey, you need to do this or all that stuff, right? What? Yeah. Not you. Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, not you, but other women. You guys, like, I knew what I was doing. It wasn't that I had to sit down and prepare and be like, oh, I gotta make sure. It just, I internalized this shit. I realized like, hey, I'm dealing with a woman. I'm not dealing with a man. I'm dealing with a woman, so I got to do this differently. So, yeah. If the frame is yours, the fault is yours. So, the opposite of therapy is telling men that it's their fault, but they can also fix it, and that's awesome. It's great to have a solution. It's within your reach. So, frame requires you to accept fault for when you fuck up. And that's like the Married Red Pill guys are really big on that. Like, own your shit. You fucked up, own it. You got rejected by a girl, own it. You got fat, own it. You had an argument and you try to argue with your wife, fucking own it. Hey, I argued with my wife today. Right? So, yeah. The iron rule. You are the main character. Move from complaining about the nature of women's society to navigating it successfully. And this is what I harp on the most. Like, great, women suck. Great, women are not swiping right on you, bro, I guess, or women are divorcing men or something. What are we gonna do now? What's the plan? You are not a sacrificial node in the scheme of gynocentrism, but these guys would have you believe that and the thing is, like, their solution is to get together and join and to have some kind of secret meeting online or some warehouse somewhere to kind of overthrow feminism. They don't have a plan. They don't. All they do is spread awareness. I'm like, great. Spreading awareness isn't getting me laid or paid or making me happy, but it's getting you paid, not me. So when it comes down to it, they're basically telling you you're a sacrificial note of gynocentrism, and the only way out is if you listen to me and act like me. I'm like, no, only you have to move. You have to do things. The fault is yours. You're not getting laid. That is your fault. Your happiness is your own problem. It is your responsibility. And that is why it's so important to tell these guys. And they don't like it because they feel they have 100% the victim mentality. 100% the victim mentality. All right. The serenity of frame. So the ultimate result of the tetrahedron is not control over her, and I cannot stress this enough. It's control over yourself. Who cares what a woman says on a podcast 1,000 miles away from you? Who cares whose dick a woman sucks 2,000 miles away from you? Who cares what some women whose job is it to shove objects inside of herself for rent money, what she thinks about how you should live your life? Who gives a fuck? Are you handsome? Are you working on being attractive and handsome as much as your genetics allow? Within, in the Goldilocks zone. Are you are you building a career that you would be proud of? Are you following your goals? Right? Are you working through the emotional side? Maybe you have some trauma from your childhood. Maybe you're working through a breakup and it's really affecting you. Are you working through those things? What does it matter what someone else says? Your reality is in front of you. So, you know, all right. Outcome. You reach a point where her actions, lateness, tests, mood swings cannot destabilize you. Quote, the only self-help book that actually involves yourself. And that's a lot of self-help is basically it's almost like you get a rise from reading it because it makes you feel like you're doing something. Like you're better than the average person because you've discovered this tome and it just like you touch it and it gives you power. Like in like in an anime fashion, you touch an artifact or a weapon or an orb and you absorb the power. And that's what a lot of guys see self-help as that. But the truth is, guys, frame it's the only self-help book that actually involves you, that actually makes you think, "Hey, it's me. I have to improve." Nothing happens. There is no we, there is no them, there is no them versus us. Women are not out to get you. They're just self-interested. So why the fuck are you not self-interested? Well, and there you go. The first problem. You can't even be self-interested. Now you got to explore that. Why can't I do things for myself? Why do I got to check in with someone else? So, um all right. And then the final slide, guys, for tonight. The finished edifice. Frame is everything. You are the architect. You build the pillars, physical, intellectual, emotional. You set the capstone. Invite others to enter your reality. Stop call to action. Stop negotiating your reality. Do the work. And I know do the work it's one of those abstract for what does work mean? Well, I pretty much spelled it out for you. Depending on your situation and your life circumstances, your physical, intellectual, and emotional pillars, build them based around that, right? We know for a fact that muscles are attractive to women. And when you're attractive to women physically, you have more leverage, right? I understand that I'm not the most handsome man in the world, but when I appeared on that interview with Angela, I, you know, I'm not fat. I had good hygiene. The stuff behind me, like I was in a room, everything was cleaned up. I didn't look like a slob. I didn't talk like a slob. And yeah, and I had a nice fade. So it's just like, listen, that helps when dealing with women. That helps. Intellectual. I understand the source material. So if I'm going to talk to this woman about what I believe, it has to be right. And there were times where I had to be careful with what I said, but I said it, and I said it eloquently and emotional. Where like, hey, this is a woman. Logic doesn't appeal to her. Emotions do. So whenever she has an emotion, you run with it, you work with it, because that is what she is trying to tell you. And you don't argue with it. You use um your sort of um not Bill of Rights, but your boundary setting strategies, right? Fogging, negative assertion, negative inquiry, all that stuff. And it worked. And by the end of the show, full praise, right? And yeah, sometimes women need a little bit of argument and fights. And that's why you imitate one. You start a forest fire, a controlled fire. That way, the forest wildfire doesn't destroy everything. So, um, anyways, yeah, that's basically my explanation of frame. I'm sure there's better ones, but that's mine. And yeah, this is very important, guys. And I hope maybe you guys will come back to this. Maybe save it, like it, whatever. And I hopefully in the future this becomes one of those things that guys go to often to brush up or to have a refresher or whatever. But all right. So guys, that's frame. What did you guys think? Was it good? Did you guys help out? Did it clear some things up? Did I confuse you even more? So definitely good, good, good. The work is every process you undertake to become attractive, and yeah, exactly. It's just whatever gives you more leverage with women, and not only women. It bleeds over to professional, right? If you're a good-looking guy that's cleaned up and muscular and cleans up well and is wearing clothes that fit him and fitted clothes, you're gonna do much better in life professionally. It's just a fact, you know. So we got a pile of super chat from crap. You one of these, sir?
Thank you so much, best friend!
Todd M7 with the $5. Luke, what are your thoughts on the idea of a shifting sexual playing field? Been seeing a lot of pickup guys in the field report a change. Okay, well, this one's tricky. Thing is, with the pickup scene, a lot of things happen. And the first one is, I don't want to be racist here, but a lot of people from a certain area of the world have started doing pickup. And you could ask Ryan Stone about this. There has been several cases of sexual assault because of these guys. And yeah, there's your first shift. Your first shift is that a lot of people of a certain place are coming in and doing pickup, and it's making, it's becoming notoriously weird and shitty. Not that it always has not been that, but there you go. There's your first shift. Number two shift is that from my perspective, this is personal. Don't take this as gospel, but this is my personal thing. From 2020 to 2023, dating apps were like peak because of the pandemic, right? People were still scared to go out or socialize and build a social life. So we had to meet via dating apps. So even if you had shitty photos or at least decent photos, you did well. You did perfectly fine on dating apps like I did. I did so good that I exhausted myself, But yeah, but things changed. Women started going out. Social lives were built. Everyone that stayed inside that were building brands, whether like you're an OnlyFans girl or you're a streamer and all that stuff, built that and then launched it when Air Life was public. They were already early adopters because everyone was online forever, all the time from 2020 to 2023. For me, this is what I've seen. So when I started dating after 2023, the dating apps seemed to die. I got much less matches. Everything was slower. Not a lot of people, a lot more online flakes, like girls disappearing. But I did notice something else. I noticed that women referral game. Like I noticed that female friends of mine were introducing me to very hot women. And I also noticed that in places in sexual zones, whether it be like a pool party or a salsa night or any gathering where it's like there is a sexual undertone, there is touching and feeling and there's alcohol or whatever, I noticed that the women were very adamant about interacting there, right? So I just adapted. So I started going to pool parties in 2022, rooftop pool parties. Like my friends would invite me, and I'd go. And there was this one day where I kissed the tiger mom. I got her number. There was this other e-girl looking chick that like did cosplay. I saw her Instagram, and I got her number. And then I got another girl's number, and they all saw me getting the other girl's number. They all saw me, right? And I went out. The e-girl looking chick, she ghosted. Never met with her. The tiger mom, I think we flirted online, but I was like, whatever. I had other plates, and then I went out with the girl I remember she had a yellow bikini. She was a Mexican girl, um, who was here visiting the United States and came from like kind of a wealthy family and all that stuff. She was studying to be a veterinarian. She was like 23 or something, 22. Um, but I just immersed myself, and I think this is the problem. My perspective, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, is the lack PUAs want to do what's called guerrilla tactics, where they just go out, put on nice clothes, go out, talk to women, and try to bring them back immediately. And for me, it's like what has delivered me the most pretty woman and with the least amount of effort and least amount of rejection is immersion. Just being completely involved in a decent social life. It doesn't have to be like Dan Bilzerian, right? But you have to be out there. Like I got a lay from a hot chick just because I was in a group chat with men and women, and I just dropped some fire memes in the chat and funny jokes, one or two. And the girl then I saw she had a laugh emoji, didn't think much of it, and then I went to salsa night, and she was there. I don't know if she was shut up for me or she was curious, but she was there, and she danced with me, and we just went home that night. And she didn't seem like a host. She seemed like she was like a classy, half white, half Mexican girl, sexy, good dancer, and we went home that night. So immersion. I wasn't expecting anything out of that group chat. I was like, oh cool, I'm in the group chat for what are we doing this weekend? Where are we dancing this weekend? Blah blah blah. And yeah. And it builds. Like then that girl, I hooked up with that girl, and then I go out to another pool party and she's working as a bottle girl at that thing. And then the other girls see me talking to a bottle girl, and like she's rubbing my hand on my shoulder. And then another girl, these two girls come up to me during my brother's birthday, that stuff. And they're like, hey, your brother, blah, blah, blah. And I know this guy, and you guys are cool. And then I'm like, and then I don't hit on them like pick up, but I just talk to them normal and take pictures. And I posted a picture of them, and all that stuff. And we just had a good time. And then I post a picture on Instagram. And then one of them wants to go out with me. And so on and so forth. And do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's immersion. And I'm having fun the whole time because I'm hanging with my friends and all that stuff. But PUA has its place, right? But right now, it just seems to me like you have to be immersed. And I think what these PUAs are complaining about the shift, and I know who you're talking about. We've gone back and forth on X. It's basically the world and the universe is asking you to like get in there and be immersed. To like go to a restaurant often and make friends and shake hands with a bartender and hug people and have female friends, right? Stop being so angry at women all the time and just have a female friend. My female friends treat me great. They treat me and my girlfriend great. They're good friends, and yeah, women are women. They'll disappear for a month or they'll bitch to me about the little guys in their life. And I won't give them advice. I'll just hear them out. But for the most part, how do you think it looks to you when you're in a sexual zone or a place with women and your female friend comes up to you and gives you a big hug? Women will be like, oh, wow, a guy that's not a creep. That guy looks like he's, maybe I want to, if he talks to me, I won't say no. So that's my thing. The shift is, hey, everyone's no longer online, and women are looking for fun. Can I fit in your life? And you being a stranger on the street, yeah, some women do respond to that, but for the most part, got to stay ahead of the game. And the sad part is they have PUA skills. They have them, so they built this skill. It's robust. It's worked before. So why not use that in a social setting where they know a couple people? It would work, right? You just got to calibrate it to a social setting. So that's just me, but that's my perspective for what it's worth. The subcontinent, exactly. Toronto is where, yeah, exactly. So that's part of the shift, guys. If there's a shift, this is part of the shift. Is this, and I'm not gonna say anything else. Nah, they're just it's sour grapes, man. Like, listen, the other day I went to a New Year's party, invited my friend. He's single, and my other friends were there. Four, like a whole group of us, right? And I was there. It was open bar. They brought out a big tuna and chopped it up. It was awesome. It was expensive to get. It was like $300 to get in. And yeah, it was like good times. And yeah, the girls were hitting on us. The girls were flirty. I was wingmanning for my friend. We left. I don't know why we left that place, but I was wingmanning for my friend, and because he works the night shift and he's been out in the country studying college, so I wanted to, but for the most part, yeah, like the girls were flirty, right? Why? And why is that? Because immersion. Because they knew, oh, if he's in this party, he's not some loser goober guy that can't get in. It's already like a lot of the legwork or the mental legwork to see if this guy is a weirdo or whatever he is. It's already done because he's here and he's hanging out with a group of dudes, so he's not weird and alone. And also in that group, there's women. Like my friend's girlfriend was there, so it's like, oh, he's not weird, he's not a creep, and on top of that, he seems to be having a good time. He seems to be just dancing, and yeah. And a woman came up to me and put her hand on my suit and rubbed my suit, and I was like, I just laughed, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, yeah, it's not something that happened every day, but it's immersion, right? And women are still sexually open. Just you can't just be a guy, a layman anymore. You can't just be a mysterious guy on the street. You gotta give a shit. You gotta go out there, socialize, and have parties and join parties and have good friends and live life, live a full life, right? So they're replacing PUA with living a full life, and that's never a replacement. So uh, Happiness New Book states women and yes, I agree. But the thing is, here's my take. Most women do not like men in general. Women do not like men in general, but they like the individual, right? So women will reject you and they'll waste your time and they'll complain about men. But the ones that do want to have sex with you, boy, do they want to have sex with you. And that's what I've noticed. There's women that are just like, they'll ignore you, they'll, whatever, sure, well, I'll be there if you'll be there, whatever. But the ones that want to have sex with you are just like, I'll fly across the world to have sex with you. Like women are locked in. Like, and that's the cool part. Like, all you have to do is filter and recognize when a woman's wasting your time, which those are skills that I know that I can tell you guys. It's really easy to tell when a girl's about to flake. I can tell like almost as soon as I'm texting her that a girl's gonna flake. But also you gotta understand that when a woman wants to sleep with you, it's it is so obvious. It is so easy to tell. Sometimes I got to the point within the first 10 minutes of the date, I'm like, I'm having sex with this girl tonight. And one of the ways I knew is because she dressed like a little sexy, but almost like unconfident sexy. Like she had maybe her boobs were out and she wore a little, tight little cocktail dress, but there was like some level of anxiety. Like, I hope I look good for this guy, right? I could tell. And then there's like a level of shyness where she talked, you know, when there's a level of shyness, but also enthusiasm, it's hard to explain. I'm like, this girl, I'm gonna have one of her titties in my mouth tonight. I know for sure, like 90%. But the girls that don't want to smash are hard to convince that they want to smash. The girls that do want to smash, it's up to like, and this is where I say, hey, it's just about being the right guy at the right time. So build your competencies, money, muscles, game, frame, whatever, and then that'll help you be more of the right guy. And that being the right guy at the right time requires you to go out there. And the PUAs want to control this outcome and want to control the be the right guy at the right time with game. And I get that. But um you trying to convince a woman that doesn't want to fuck you is good luck. Good luck. It's hard. It's not easy. ticks, you know. And there's women that like I have women that you know I invited out on a date, and they're like, whatever. And then they see me out. Oh, you have a dog. Oh, you have this. Oh, you live in this neighborhood. And then over time they realize like, oh, I think I should have smashed that guy. And then I'm not saying they're gonna like always change your mind, right? But women require a lot more information now before. And remember, when women want to sleep with you, they're assessing risk. Is this guy worth it on the first night to sleep with him? Is he going to be around a lot? Do I feel like if I miss this chance, do I get another chance with this guy? Is this guy going to tell people that I slept with him? Right? Is this guy look like if I slept with him, does he look like I would have a good time and I don't have to be like go through all this trouble, gain another body just to have mediocre like if I want to add another notch count, I want it to be worth it. I want him to rock my world. Right. And then, she'll look at your muscles, your charm, how relaxed you are, how you kino escalate, and she'll be like, I think this guy, I'll go to his apartment. I'll see what happens. Let's see what he does. Right. And it's all risk assessment. So lower her risk for her. Right. She's trying to see if you're worth it. And think of it like that. Don't think of it like, oh, you gotta, manipulate and all that stuff. Like she's deciding. And sometimes before she even goes out, she's like, as long as he doesn't talk himself out of sex, step on his own dick, then I'm gonna sleep with him. Because I like this dog. He played a little song for me in message. I'm horny. My ex just found a new girlfriend. I wanna whatever reason, you were the right guy at the right time. Don't mess it up. Right? Just don't talk yourself out of pussy. And it sucks because a lot of guys have a lot of ego and confidence staked on their ability to get women. And when you tell them, no, dude, it's not really up to you. It's women are the ones really like deciding whether they fuck you or not. And they don't like that. It's an ego thing. Like, no, I have to control. Like, I'm the one that charmed her. I'm like, yeah, she just went out with you to make sure you're wearing a fucking weirdo. She already saw the profile. Like, all right, this guy looks like my ex, a little bit more muscular. He has a cute dog, and his location is set to a nice part of the city. And yeah, I like Dominican men. I've always liked them. Never let me down. So yeah, I'm just gonna go out one day with him. If he smells good, and he doesn't say anything weird or political or talk about Bitcoin or anything like that, then I'll fuck him. I think I'm gonna do it. Women have agency, right? Women make decisions. And she's like, yeah. And guys, I'm telling you, just for working out and wearing a nice cologne that's not the Walgreens brand, you already, and trust me, girls that I've hooked up with in the past and female friends and even my girlfriend have told me about terrible dates they've been on. And I'm telling you guys, we're a rare breed. Don't sell yourself short for the love of God. Obviously the internet's going to discourage you. There's a lot of intersexual competition for men, but don't sell yourself short. Keep working on these pillars, but don't sell yourself short. Right? Have a little bit of confidence. Think you're awesome. And if you think you're awesome, you're going to treat yourself better. You're going to be like, I'm awesome. Why would I take this shit from a girl? Or why would I crash out and look stupid and try to prove a point that's unbecoming of me? Or, hey, why would I get fat? I'm awesome. I got to treat myself like I'm awesome. And you see, like now, it's not delusion. It's just you value yourself. You are self-interested, but not in the way that women are, where women could be fat and still think I'm hot. You're like, I need to gain muscle because I'm worth it. I'm valuable. And if I'm valuable, then I deserve to treat myself better. You see, it's different. So, yeah, let's see. Alrighty. So Rolo says that uh, Rolo says that men have much higher libido than women. That's true because of high test. But at the same time, we are aware of that. We are aware that women are literally effing around, doing OF, such even though they don't have as much test. How do we reconcile this? Thank you, Professor Nuke. High quality and useful content as always. Well, guys, you got to understand, women have sex for different reasons, right? And women have different psychosexual needs than us, right? We need validation, right? You can pay for sex all you want, but eventually you need a girl to kind of like you, to have a crush on you. You need a girl that think that you need a girl to like follow your lead and to think you're awesome, right? We need a girl to like us. That's a psychosexual need. And that's why guys that like pay for sex a lot, or guys that cultures where there's arranged marriages, the guys are a little weird, right? Because they don't have to go through that filter to get women. So that's why, certain people from a certain continent are weird, or people that pay for it. And I have nothing, I don't give a shit what you do with your money. You are a man. But there is a little bit of weirdness to those type of guys, right? And that's because they don't have to go through that, hey, get a girl to like me and have sex with me. They just, whatever. So, um, how do we reconcile this? Well, again, women have sex for different reasons. And it's not always because I'm horny. Sometimes it's because I want this guy to do something for me. Or, hey, I want to get back at my ex, right? Or, hey, there's so many reasons. And that's why men and women are different. We have sex because we were horny. It was Tuesday, the wind blew north, and we were just like, oh, right? And that's a good thing. Our simplistic sexual nature is good because it gives you it's just more fun, right? Like one day I was just walking downstairs a couple years ago, and there's this slightly chubby Asian girl, right? And I would say hi to her and all that stuff. And for some reason, I was like, I wouldn't mind having sex with her. She is definitely I'm definitely out of her league, and respect, right? But I was definitely out of her league. You guys probably would have made fun of me and be like, "Whoa, dude, her." But it's just that's awesome though. I have no sexual floor. Like obviously, I I didn't do it, but it's just I could, there's something about this chick, right? And that's us. That's men. We can do that and we can just laugh it off. And our friends will make fun of us, and it'll be a joke of the group, and then you'll laugh with them, and you'll create a memory, and that's it, right? But women are different. Women have more stake or more risk, higher risk profile when they sleep with men. Now, this may not seem that way because all we see is women being turbo sluts. But let me look like this. Let me explain it like this. OnlyFans is hedging against risk, right? So one of the needs that women have for sex from that they get from sex is validation, worship, right? If you don't believe me, next time you have sex with a woman, um, suck on her toes, and she's gonna be like, "Whoa!" And that's gonna be mind blowing if she's never had that before, because it's like a form of worship, and women need that. They need validation from men as much as they say that men suck, blah blah. This they can't stop talking about men, and they need our approval and our validation. Now you got to be hot, you got to be attractive, but they need men's approval, right? And validation, and they need to feel like men desire them. And what is OnlyFans in that? It's not a hoe thing, right? If they want to be a hoe, they can just obviously some of them have sex on camera, right? But you don't need a camera to, you know, to have an orgasm. It's essentially she wants to be validated. She wants to be pretty. She wants men to worship her. And it's the same thing. Whether she's a trad woman saying what other trad men believe, or she's a girl that shoves objects, maybe fruit inside of herself or whatever, for money, it's the same mechanism in the brain. I want to be validated by men. I want to be told I'm pretty, I'm perfect. And it's funny because it's never really enough, right? I always say social media is 100 times worse for women than porn is for men. But that's a whole discussion for another day. But yeah, during the pandemic, Mr. Vincent LX, there was a lot of talks of replacing animal protein like fish, chicken, and namely beef, mostly beef, with bug protein, right? The meme of Alex Jones saying, "You will not eat the bugs, you will own nothing," or you will, all those memes. And men kind of crashed out. They're angry. I felt angry. I'm like, the hell you're gonna take my steak away from me? I'll riot. And why is that? Men have multiple agencies. but our primary agency is our strength. It's what separates us from women. It is the number one thing that separates us from women is how strong we are. The most trained MMA fighter woman cannot beat up an 18-year-old man unless she gets a good hit in, like in a super weak point, like the side of the head or something. But like struggling, like strength wise, not even close. So, what is the source of our strength? It is protein. We cannot get strong unless we consume protein. And steak and chicken and salmon, all those are very dense protein sources and they're delicious. One pound of steak is like 100, like ribeye is like 110 grams of protein, if I'm not mistaken, which is like usually like 2/3 of what a man needs to eat in order to build muscle, you know? Um, so protein consumption. So all the men felt mad, and they were like, "You're the hell, you're gonna take our protein away? I'll riot. I'll burn the bug factory down." Right? Ain't no way. What's women's primary agency? And it's their sexuality. It's what our strength is to us. With our strength, we make money, we build houses, we build computer setups like I did, we pick things up, we defend ourselves, we have sex, all those things. It literally is what makes us go life, what makes our life the way it is. For women, that's sex, their vagina. So whenever you try to comment or reduce or shame women sexually, you're basically shaming them the same way like the bug protein people try to shame you out of your source of strength. Kind of a far off parallel, but it's just to get guys to understand why women are so adamant about being naked and having the ability to market all the time, right? Because it's the only thing they have. They have nothing else. Look at a redhead libertarian. She's in the political space, and what does she do? She goes on to use filters. I make fun of her. She gets mad. She gets defensive. She's never been mad about her ideas that much, but every time someone attacks her looks, it's like, it's like she breaks down, right? Because that's all she has. And she knows it on a deep level. The only reason she's popular is because she's a woman and she's, I guess, attracted to to a Gen X older gentleman. She's probably really hot. But this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, look at it like this. Stop comparing, stop using parallels, stop projecting your male experience onto women because it's different. And you fuck regardless. Women have to be strategic with who they fuck sometimes, if not most of the time, because that's all they have. They cannot move the world unless they dangle it or use it the way they see fit. Or else, they get nothing done. Nothing happens. So, yeah. Yeah, I think somebody already tweeted that. I think it was someone, man, I think it was Archwinger or someone. Women don't like men in general, but love the individual, right? And it's also the opposite. When women claim to like all men and all that, they love men, but they hate individual men. Right? Same thing with Trump supporters. Like Trump supporters or like don't like people that are liberal or maybe people that don't support their views, maybe Democrats. But on an individual level, a Trump supporter and a Trump supporter will be happy to accept the Democrat into their a Trump. I saw a video like Trump was in town. He was at a convention or a campaign event, and there was this Democrat that was like, "I'm gonna go to these Trump supporters and I'm gonna like make them mad and see if they attack me and all that stuff." And they were nice as can be. And the guy was confused, like, "Wait a minute, I thought Trump supporters were assholes." I'm like, "No, they're just people. They don't like you as a whole, but on individual level, they like you." And that's what my captain said in the Navy. Like, people in mass are stupid. They're dumb. Masses of people are stupid. But when you corner an individual person, you'll be surprised how smart they are as compared to the masses. And that stuck with me, right? And that's why when you appeal to the masses, you got to dumb down everything. Dumb down your message. You can't get too deep or nuanced because a mass of people is much dumber than the individual, right? Because we want cohesiveness. We don't want to stand out as a mass of people. But if you corner an individual and you ask them about things, you'll realize like a lot of people have very nuanced thoughts about stuff and have good questions and all that stuff, right? So yeah, yeah, me too. I think I forgot. Big boobs cure everything. It's science. Yeah, they make you feel good. But the best thing is earning them. You know. Um, sure. So yeah, it just seems a little bit easy, and they're like shy. They're like excited shy, like a high school girl. Like that's not scratch that. Like um, I'm trying to think of a movie. I forgot the. You know what? I forgot the movie, but remember when you guys were young and in high school and you guys had crushes and the girl acted really nervous and she was flush red and you'd leave little notes and you'd ask her for prom and all that stuff like that. Um, they become like that. They revert to their base self, right? They don't put on a facade. They're in front of a man. They're find attractive. They're nervous. They're definitely more nervous than you. I promise you. So you just gotta like just sit there and talk and make her giggle a couple times, 2 hours. Put 2 drinks in her, so she can relax, and then just say, "Hey, want to come back to my place?" And that's it. That's all you can do because she already chose in her mind. She's already made up, right? So, yep. If I'm just the right guy at the right time, yeah. Hey, the 3 Ys. Yeah. All right. You got another super chat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, best friend!
Ton M7 with the $5. Dropping a bit early. Fantastic stream as always. No, thank you. Well, I mean, I've been going on forever, so I think it's time we could start wrapping up. Do you guys have any questions? Do you guys have anything else to you guys want to bring up or to add? Just let me know. But yeah, you guys get it. Like it's fun to systematize things, right? But it's fun to systematize things in a way that there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people that swear by one way or another, but like frame, you build this tetrahedron, you you understand well, you have a desire to win, and you realize that the emotional stuff is the hardest. Give it the respect it deserves because it's not as easy as the other ones. Lifting weights is hard at the beginning, right? Your body's not used to it, your nervous system's not used to it, your life is not built around it. Your diet has you're transforming so many, you're changing so many things, internal and external, that yes, lifting and becoming attractive is hard in the beginning, but fun because you make a lot of beginner gains. And then finding a look, and then you're wearing the clothes, and you get excited because you look good, and women are starting to notice, and everyone's starting to notice. So it's like a lot of positive feedback. But the dark days of your life with women is the emotional because you these are the lessons that hit the hardest. These are the lessons where men spend years spinning their tires. They cannot get past their ex, or they cannot get past that girls are whores, or they cannot get past, and they spend years and years and years. You know what? It's okay. You take your time, but you cannot stay there forever. You got to move on. You got to make a decision about how you're going to process things. And looking back, as you get older and as you build that emotional pillar, you're going to realize a lot of the reason girls in the past you've had bad experiences because of you, the way you handle things. And that takes, remember, the fault is yours. Most of the time, it's yours. You're not a victim. You're an agent. You have agency. So now you know that now you can build a better mental model based on, hey, I have a lot more power and I have agency. I have control, a certain level of control over myself. I can do this. So, yeah. Yeah, sure. Yo, speaking of the Navy, how do you recall the aviators there? What are they like? I'm asking because I'm interested in it being. Well, they're just like the Chads of the ship. They're like handsome guys, I guess. Pause. Um, I don't know much. I was a nuke, so I was like inside down in the depths of the engine room and in the nuclear plant. So, yeah, thank you. Makes sense. Awesome. So, people worship cows. I'm not giving up my dinner. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how women feel about marketing themselves as hoes and sluts and using their sex to get what they want out of the world. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I don't have much else. I appreciate if you guys have any more super chats or any questions, speak now, forever hold your peace. But Substack is up. I got a couple more articles to go before everything's done, and then sending the first copy of everything to the editor. But I got a couple more stories I got to tell, and I got to make sure. The reason the stories take a while is because I got to remember things. I don't remember these girls as well as I thought I did. It's just so long ago, and it's just like I've moved on and all that. But I know there's a lot of lessons. So these lessons, like I was telling you in the stream, they build the emotional pillar, and I wanted to focus on that for the book because everyone knows all the other shit. Get it? We get it. Mike Menser method, 5x5, shave, looks max, get the haircut, have a look. We get that, right? The emotional stuff is it's what the stories are for. So you guys can understand how I came to be who I am, and I'm good at what I do, right? So yeah, you guys follow the Substack. I'll put my Substack in the chat here. All right. So here's the Substack, guys. Oh, there we go. So there's a Substack. Follow it. If you haven't, $7 a month, and you get 100, 150 at this point essays of everything I've ever known, and I'm putting it all down. It's Goodreads, are short, quick essays. Most of them are like 1,000 words or less. So, but Goodreads, it'll help you guys. It'll build that intelligence, build the intelligence pillar and all that stuff. And guys, if you want, my link tree's in the chat. So if you guys want to join the Discord or any of those things, please go ahead. You can reach me personally there. Don't be asking me too much advice, though. I don't have time to sit down with every story. Just give me time to come to your story, and I'll comment and all that. So Substack also have a group chat on Substack where everyone's sharing advice and we all help each other. So if you guys would like to join that, you guys are welcome to too. Follow me on Twitter. It's a lot of fun on Twitter. This is where I cause a lot of mayhem and all that stuff. So yeah, that's fun. And please, guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed to the video, if you haven't liked the video, please do like it now. I mean, you guys are still here, so you guys enjoyed it. And subscribe, right? Get me to 3,000. I'm currently closing in on 3,000. So thank you guys. There's a lot of new viewers, so welcome. We're here to win. I'm here to give you the tools to win. That's what we're going to do. I'm a normal dude. I just figured this shit out, and I'm willing to put everything I've ever known on paper or on video, and then only then and only then will I be satisfied. So please get me there, subscribe, and you guys have a great night. Thank you guys for all the super chats, and I will see you next time. Good night.